Hello, everyone, and welcome to SolidWorks Live. Now, today's guests are here to provide 3 sneak peeks at World. The big announcement areas that we'll all look forward to, a special preview of our technical section agenda, and more broadly, other great ways to take note of when it comes to experiencing the best of SolidWorks CAD on desktop and our SolidWorks Cloud apps while at the event in Houston. We'll start with a sneak peek focused on SolidWorks CAD before making our way to a very similar discussion focused on the SolidWorks Cloud apps.
This episode of SolidWorks Live is brought to you by 3DEXPERIENCE World 2025. Join thousands of designers, engineers, analysts, solution partners, and SolidWorks team members in Houston, Texas, from February 23rd to the 26th.
Bruce, welcome on to our official 3D Experience World sneak peek here. How's it going?
Very good, Sean. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's always great to have you on. I think the last time you were on was the SolidWorks What's New episode. And today we're here to talk about something else that is near and dear to our community's hearts, and that's World, right? So we have our worldwide SolidWorks audience here today to get a preview of some of the design level capacities that will be occurring at World, be it some announcements or technical sessions pertaining to SolidWorks that, again, attendees will have access to coming up at 3D Experience World 2025 in February. But before we get all to that, and I did talk to you, before this session to kind of go over some of this stuff. I mentioned that, before we get into the future, right, the technical sessions and what has you excited there, as well as some other aspects pertaining to SolidWorks, I wanted to maybe bring us up to speed. We're at the end of the year here. We're in December as this episode airs here. And I wanted to ask you, what were some of the key highlights or newsworthy items as you saw them in 2024 as it pertained to SolidWorks?
Yeah. So what have we been working on all year? So it's we continue to improve SolidWorks aggressively in multiple directions. It's quality, performance, enhancements, new functionality. We're expanding in all those directions. And regarding performance, we continued to get some really good gains out of our user workflows that we talked about last year. We went and did typical user workflows with actual user data, and we put goals on every step. And we had about 15 of these workflows, and we challenged the developers to meet those goals on what was expected for good performance on that. And in many cases they did, not everyone, but in some they exceeded it. I think on average we got some tremendous increases there, and I don't think we're going to stop that because we just are getting some very good benefits out of that effort. But regarding enhancements, that's kind of near and dear to my heart because my team does all the spec writing for the enhancements. We've been working on some really cool stuff. Not just new features, by the way. We have plenty of those, but we're also focused on removing limitations from common workflows. An example would be if you're working with assemblies and you have groups of components in multiple places, you would typically create sub-assemblies to handle that. But that comes with some overhead. It complicates your assembly structure. It puts limitations on solving, or you'd have to use flexible sub-assemblies if you wanted to solve the mates at their various. So we're coming up with a new paradigm there where you can get the benefits of groups of components in an assembly without the overhead. It's really going to be pretty cool. We've been playing around with that. I'm quite excited about that. So, another example of removing limitations in LDR mode. Many users are big fans of Arch Design Review because it lets you open your enormous assemblies lightning fast. But you can't do much work in there. It's really for viewing and measuring, and and then when you wanted to do the edits, you would pick a portion of that and flip over to edit. But Well, now right in LDR, there is going to be a capability to edit a component in there, and it will keep the rest of the LDR components, the rest of the assembly in LDR visible. So you get one active, and you can make your modifications, changes, and everything, and parametrically, and then hit an update button and see how that reflects in the rest of the and stay at the end of that. You flip back to LDR, so it's very efficient, nice workflows there, benefits of LDR, but the ability to jump back and forth between editing. And I will say that this whole theme of removing limitations, it's kind of ever growing with us. I mean, it's typical in any software product. You implement functionality which works well in the initial context of, and that might be a small assembly, and then your users push the limits. Well, whether that's a bigger assembly, or whether it's product complexity, or a desire to reuse the design data, work with others, protect IP, using downstream operations, very common. Whatever it is, they're always pushing the limitations, and we're always listening, and we get some great feedback and some great challenges, and use that as ideas to enhance the product.
I will say that was really a big focus. Of course, viewers of Live will remember, and if you don't remember, you can go back and watch the "What's New in SolidWorks 2025" episode, during which you and John Sweeney were on, and you talked a lot about that sort of key framework of removing limitations, removing barriers. That was sort of a huge point, I think, in some of the different levels of work that you were sort of unveiling or sharing with the audience during that episode. And I know that World, speaking of which, it's a huge time for us, our audience, right, to sort of learn about different pathways we're going to accomplish some very pragmatic things, right? Whether it's removing limitations or speeding up workflows. And a lot of our viewers who have watched World before, they know that, general session, day one, it's like when we have like our peak viewership on Live, people are tuning in for those sort of big announcements. So what's next? What's new? So I don't expect you here, Bruce. I think you know what I'm going to ask you next, but I don't expect you here to sort of spoil the surprise, so to speak. But can you maybe tease, if not some big announcements, maybe some areas of work that will be kind of sort of unveiling at World as it pertains to SolidWorks?
Wow. Okay, now you're trying to get me in trouble. Yeah. Because yeah, no, we do have some cool announcements, some big announcements, but I'm not supposed to be the one making those. So
Sure, sure. We're
um,
we're, we're 3 months away, but maybe
I'll,
maybe just where we're headed.
I will tease it at a high level. Suffice it to say that AI and machine learning will be prominent in many conversations there, but it goes well beyond that. We really have a lot of stuff going on. Um, but regarding AI, you've probably heard about the automated drawings, or some of the big game changers that we're working on.
Sure.
But we are also weaving that technology into the product, throughout the product, and so it gives some unexpected benefits in many areas. And one of my favorites, I kind of like, I will talk about a little bit, is if you're a SolidWorks user and you use Toolbox and you like the benefits because it comes with the make references, all
Mhm.
those fasteners, you pop them in, it knows exactly how to mate them in place and everything. Um, but it does require that you use those prepared Toolbox components, right? Um, so what if you could do it with any component that looked like a bolt or a nut or a washer? And that's exactly what we're working on. But I can't go into the details. You really gotta come to World to kind of to see that one. But yeah, I just love that one. So cool stuff.
That is usually the part. You're right. That is usually the part where someone will ask you, like, "Can I can I see it? Like, can I see a demo of it? You're
Yeah,
right. You have to wait for that.
that yeah, that's right. And
Uh,
there's a bunch of other cool stuff, so
yeah, it's awesome. No, it's like I mentioned, it's the biggest time of year. I would say that and what's new in 2025, that sort of period where we learn about the new stuff, right? The new capabilities. It's when we kind of make our big splashes. So once again, February, Houston, Texas, more than enough time to register here. And I wanted to ask you, Bruce, kind of on another topic, which I know you're intimately familiar with. Uh, Another reason why people go to World, not just to see the new stuff and new stuff that's coming out, but also to learn, right? Of course. And a big way that people learn is through the technical sessions that we have in SolidWorks, be it the hands-on sessions or the in-classroom or lecture style sessions. What can you tell us there? What has you excited? What are some trends there? Just to get, again, our audience members excited and inspired to hopefully register and join us.
yeah, yeah. We've got a couple hundred sessions, over 50 hands-ons where you can get in there and actually get trained, use the product, and we bring back our best presenters, and we encourage them, we challenge them to kind of up their game every year and put new content in, new presentations. And we've got some great ones coming. I know because I am part of that committee that does the selection for the presentation. So we've got meetups, we've got just a lot of stuff going on, I will say, I plug my own, hands-on, by the way, my
Yeah.
my structures presentation, because I get some good feedback on it, and often hands-on sessions, they get filled up very quickly, and I would encourage attendees to not be deterred from going in and sitting at the back of the room. They won't get a computer to do the actual steps themselves, but you can learn a tremendous amount because on stage, on the screen, the presenters going through the steps and answering, questions and everything. So there's still a lot of benefits. I hear that from people that just come in and sit at the back. So
Well,
there's
it's great. It's a great point, and it's something that I know you and I spoke about very recently, that we do have hands-on sessions. Now, like, if you go through, I love user groups. We love to go to different events. I'm actually, presenting at one, I believe in 2 weeks, out in Michigan, and they're awesome. It's great to be able to see someone using the software in an illustrative capacity where you can take it back to your job and sort of, exchange lessons with your colleagues, right, when you get back to work. But being able to these hands-on sessions, I know for especially for people who haven't been in the world, they're amazing, right? You get to, like you said, get to actually uh, sit at computers, sit at workstations that have the software pre-installed. May have exercise materials, and you get to be side by side with others who are using the software from all around the world. And again, it's very, very. It is what it says, right? It's hands-on. So I know a lot of people probably uh, had not been to a conference like this where you could do that with SolidWorks products. I think that's just an awesome capacity within this conference.
It really is. It really is. And a lot of the conversations that happen around that, there's breaks. There's a good, I don't know, 15, 20-minute break between sessions. And often after they end, there's some great discussions. You go out and talk to the presenter or the other experts in the room, make some good contacts. There- There's a lot of good that comes out of the sessions, really.
Now, I want to ask you, kind of on that note, one of the things whenever I bump into you at World or really whenever we talk about occasions. And luckily there are several throughout the year, but none as big as this one, where we get to get together with our users. And I know especially for you guys and your teams within R&D, that's huge. So in terms of engaging with the SolidWorks team, engaging with other SolidWorks users, where else about the conference are you excited for that to occur?
Yeah, there's in addition to the sessions, the breakouts, there's the meetups going on, and there's these additional sessions where you can just come in and chat with users about their common interests. All right, and they're posted on the website there, and um, not to mention that the we have several other things going on Saturday, we actually do alpha testing, under NDA. but folks who want to show up a little early and apply to be an alpha tester, that's my team. We set that up, and the usability team does some additional usability testing throughout the week. So it's a great opportunity because you're actually using the next generation software, a small chunk of it, again, under NDA, but we like to observe how people adapt to it, how they understand it. And if they're not, it's not up to par, if the software is too complex, and then we'll adjust it so that we get great feedback. It makes the product better. The users seem to like it. That happens on Saturday. There's a couple of events on Sunday. Check out the schedule. But yeah, not to mention the evening events, which are a lot of fun too. So
Yeah, the alpha testing certainly. I know the certification team has certification testing. I think this event is bar none the best place to go if you are a SolidWorks user, if you're a company that uses SolidWorks for your designs, and you want to make your voice heard, and you want to meet other SolidWorks users, meet other members of the SolidWorks team. This is the best place to go. This is the place to go. So yeah, that has me excited for sure.
yeah, 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 absolutely. Because there's so many of us there, so many experts there. You talk to one person, they know they might refer you to somebody else. Oh yeah, you should talk to this gentleman, or this person for. It's just a great networking event.
Awesome. Well, Bruce, thank you as always for coming on. I could probably tell you if I can find the time. I'm going to try to sneak into your structures presentation.
Please do.
Yeah, for sure. That I know that, by the way, that's for those of you watching, we have access to the analytics here at SolidWorks in terms of what people are looking up, and structures it remains a huge topic, as you mentioned, Bruce. So I'm very excited for that one. But once again, thank you so much for jumping on, and we'll see you in Houston.
Thanks, Sean. My pleasure.
This episode of SolidWorks Live is brought to you by 3DEXPERIENCE World 2025. Join thousands of designers, engineers, analysts, solution partners, and SolidWorks team members in Houston, Texas, from February 23rd to the 26th.
Chris, welcome to our official 3D Experience World sneak peek here on the SolidWorks YouTube channel. How's it going, man?
Doing good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Glad to be here.
we appreciate you coming on, man. So I brought you on here to offer our worldwide SolidWorks viewing audience a preview of what's to come as it pertains to, announcements, technical sessions, and more that attendees of 3D Experience World will have access to here coming up in Houston, Texas this February. But before we get to all that, I mentioned to you before the show that I thought maybe since 2024 was jam-packed with a lot of different tidbits and developments, to ask you, what were some maybe key highlights or newsworthy items in 2024 as it pertains to the cloud design apps here?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm super excited for 3D Experience World down in Houston. I'm really looking forward to it. I think we're going to have a lot of great highlights to cover from the year. It's been a great 2024 for us as far as the cloud apps go. I do want to kind of just mention a little bit for anyone who might not be familiar with the cloud apps. Our cloud apps are a full browser-based portfolio of design applications. It's really our modern CAD system that we enable users to design on any device, anywhere, anytime. So for you Mac users, that's a huge benefit. And it's really one of the fastest means to CAD. And one of the big things we did this year was we actually released a new package for any makers or hobbyists out there, which is called our SolidWorks Cloud Apps for Makers, which is a great offer that you can go on and purchase, and you can pretty much instantly design from there, since there's no installations, there's no hardware required. Any device that you own, you can use these apps. That's great. The other thing that we really did this year, we did a pretty immense focus on our performance and quality of our applications, which everyone always loves. The faster the solutions work, the faster you work. So that's been a huge emphasis for us in the actual applications themselves. But more exciting, we did a lot of work actually in some areas like AI. So we've had some really nice AI accelerators in our solutions for the past few years to really just streamline some of your repetitive tasks. And we've started taking that a bit step further. So you'll hear a lot about AI this year at World. But what we actually did and what's in the product currently, and what you'll learn about more as a highlight of 2024, some of the things that we did inside of X Design, like the command predictor. So now we have the ability, as you're designing and as you're selecting commands and running your workflows, to really predict your next command using AI. For you experienced users, might not be as much of a benefit, but for those new users, especially students and makers who might be just signing on, it's very beneficial when you don't know where any of the commands are, or you actually don't even know CAD. So we're always delivering those, next commands directly to your fingertips, which is a super beneficial feature. Really excited about that one. We've done some great things with converting images to sketches using AI too. So if you're ever trying to design something off of a sketch or a picture, we could easily convert that into parametric sketches. There's been some other, sketch enhancements that we've integrated some AI to replicate geometry as well. So across the board, it's been a pretty exciting year for us in terms of development, and especially the AI stuff is probably the thing that I'm most excited about.
When you mentioned the offer with cloud apps for makers, it instantly made me think of those times when, just right around the corner here, I'm outside and I'm working on a woodworking project. And, for years, I've designed those sorts of things within SOLIDWORKS CAD. And it's great, works well, having weldments in there. That's awesome. But it's always felt clunky when I make that transition to outside in my sort of shed area where I'm trying to look at. You're right. It's like, how do I take this? I will tell you, I'm definitely not the only person who's done this, right? I'm sure maybe you've done this. Maybe people watching here at home or at their office or their shed have done this. I've taken pictures of drawings, or I've taken pictures of the model to think like, what was this supposed to look like? What are the key dimensions here in terms of spacing? When we think about, for makers having XStats available, I can just take that on my phone super
Yeah.
easily, natively. If I can take that on my iPad or my Android tablet or whatever it is. So that strikes a chord for me, and I hope many others as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's super useful having that, the power of the platform and the applications running on the 3D Experience platform, and be able to take those anywhere you go. And I do want to emphasize, actually, the solutions that the makers are getting are the full professional package that we offer commercial customers as well. So you're getting professional solutions at a nice reduced cost for all of your, hobby projects that you're working on. So you really can't beat it for that price.
Awesome. I couldn't tell at first if you said hobby or holiday, but I guess it could be either one.
Yeah, hobby.
Uh,
Hobby
but
is.
that's great. We will surely link that here so you guys can check that out. That's a huge development, huge key highlight. So you mentioned AI. Of course, we've been hearing about AI in a variety of contexts, not only in the design world, but far beyond it. So I'm going to ask you a question that I have asked everyone that's been on this preview sort of show here for 3D Experience World. And you don't have to give me all the details. You don't have to spill all the details here, but a big reason why people tune into the 3D Experience World is to get an idea of what's to come, the big announcements, right? So can you maybe tease some big announcements? You don't have to give them away, but maybe the neighborhood of some of the announcements that we might be hearing regarding cloud apps at World?
Yeah. So, I mean, as far as AI goes, or some of the announcements, uh, I talked a little bit about AI for streamlining some repetitive tasks.
Yeah.
One of the things that we're focusing on, and we'll be kind of announcing, is really taking that a step further. And
Right.
instead of a few tasks, automating complete workflows and processes in your design to manufacturing workflow. So things like streamlining drawing creation, streamlining concept to geometry creation as well. So going from hand-drawn sketches potentially to geometry. And yeah, I mean, a few of the little teasers there, but in, in summary, I would say we're taking it a step further from a few little tasks to automating some of your key workflows throughout your day. So as an engineer, you can really look forward to a lot more productivity. We're not trying to replace the engineer, but we're trying to supplement it and really improve your productivity as best as possible with AI. So if you're looking to, get some insights on how we might be improving your daily workflows as a designer or an engineer, you're definitely going to want to tune into that because AI is going to be a focus for us to come and for many years moving forward.
Yeah, and I can't stress this enough for those of you watching at home or at the office. The best place to do that is in Houston in February. You still have time to register, make your travel plans, for you and your teams. The reason I say that is, of course, maybe you'll get a grasp of some of the announcements that Chris is alluding to, and only alluding to. We're not going to make you show it exactly. I know you can't do that right now, but you will get maybe a little bit. You'll get a view of that, right? If you watch the live stream, for example, for 3D Experience World, but you won't be able to ask. You won't be shoulder to shoulder with other designers asking, what are the implications of that for you? How do you see yourself using that, or even talk to someone from SolidWorks and say, can you give me more details on how that actually works, and when exactly will it be available, and how can I possibly use it? Let me tell you a bit about what I do. You can't really do that in YouTube live chat. As much as I love the live chat on YouTube, you can't do that in the same way. So please join us. And another area, and this goes without saying, because we have them on site, and we really don't have them in the same capacity whatsoever online for this event. Another area is technical sessions, and I really wanted to talk to you about that as well as it pertains to cloud design apps. Now, you mentioned there's so many different users that could be and are taking advantage of cloud design apps today. So when it comes to technical sessions, whether it's hands-on, where I'm using the apps with my own hands and I have my own machine available, or it's more of a classroom session, more of a lecture style. What are some of the big themes with the technical sessions that we have this year? What are some that maybe have you excited, Chris? Give us a lowdown there.
Yeah, so we'll definitely have a wide range, as you said, from hands-on to breakout sessions for all levels. There's also the general sessions too, with the big audience and the big main stage where you'll hear those key announcements. But as far as the technical sessions go, for the most part, is focusing on the product capabilities, learning the product. So we've got some great hands-on sessions for getting exposed to the X apps themselves and running through some workflows and learning those. There's a lot of breakout sessions that are going to be informative on the X apps, how they work, what's included with them, what's included in that cloud offer package. In total, I think we've got, over 100 breakout sessions. Probably about 25% of them are going to be focused on our X app. So there's tons of content for you to consume. And better yet, there's going to be a ton of SolidWorks R&D employees who are going to be on site, roaming around the conference. And that's really going to be your best sources of information. And, we're always happy to talk to any customer or user and answer any questions that they might have. I'd say some of the sessions I'm really excited about, there's actually one that I'm going to be partaking in, is a meetup for the X apps themselves. So in that meetup, there's going to be a few of SolidWorks R&D personnel there to help out and answer any questions that anyone might have for the X apps. So that's a great opportunity if you do have questions to come and bring those questions and get those answered. We've got a great session actually coming up on X Shape that one of my colleagues, Hena Ichi, is going to be presenting. He's going to be presenting alongside a customer, Bowhead, and they're going to go through their workflows and information and basically cover the end-to-end process of how they've been able to use X Shape in coordination with SolidWorks to generate and revolutionize the wheelchair design. So that's going to be a really exciting presentation. I can't wait for that one. And then there's a great as well tips and tricks session that I'll be presenting for X Design too. But that's really, just the tip of the iceberg. There is a lot of sessions. So it's definitely worth tuning in and joining us in Houston and trying to attend as many as you can, because you will definitely learn something new.
One quick plug here regarding sessions, as you're saying here, Chris, is that by the time you're watching this, the agenda is live. So you can go on to 3dexperienceworld.com and check out not only some of the sessions and maybe further details that Chris mentioned here, but also many others, whether it be regarding X apps, SolidWorks CAD, cloud services. The list definitely continues there. And as you mentioned astutely there, Chris, not just SolidWorks employees, as far as the presenters, we have tons of user community members that are coming out, such as, our friends over at Bowhead Corporation presenting. So it's a great chance to hear what's actually going on in the industry with some related tools. So, it kind of bleeds into some of my final question for you. And it's been my final question for every guest that I've had on during these preview episodes. And You mentioned meetups. You're hosting a meetup, which I hope to attend for sure, uh, as a way to, again, get exposed to different SolidWorks employees from R&D. Once again, different people that are working within industries like yours or adjacent industries. How will cloud apps be kind of represented more holistically throughout the conference, maybe outside of the technical sessions or even outside of a general session? Where else can we kind of see what's going on there?
Yeah, they'll be featured, like you said, in all the sessions. Of course, the partner pavilion and the Dassault Systems um, booth inside the pavilion. There's going to be tons of DS employees there. We have a really exciting customer that's going to be featured on all the displays that you will be able to actually see all the kind of apps in action with that customer's data set, which is going to be really neat. So within the booth, you're going to have your design, your simulation, manufacturing, the 3D Experience platform, collaboration. It's going to be packed with all the different capabilities we are offering to SolidWorks customers. And that is honestly the best place to come and learn about the products, but also speak directly with us here at SolidWorks and Dassault Systems and get your questions answered. Get demos of the products, hands-on with the products. Have all the monitors set up where you can actually, interact with them and do a quick little live demo yourself while you're visiting the booth. So it's really going to be represented pretty heavily there, and that's going to be all of our products, but you'll certainly see a lot of X apps there. And then, as you said, in all the technical sessions and things like that. And as well, I do want to kind of put one more pitch in. The general sessions, you will see certainly some X apps, and you might even learn about a new X app coming soon in one of the general sessions. So that's also somewhere it will be represented, and another kind of teaser for what's to come.
Wow. The tease question I asked earlier, I thought that would be painful to answer, but then you circled back. Look at you. I love it. Awesome, man. Always great to have you on here on live, Chris. And I can't wait to check out what you guys are working on, and of course, see you in person in Houston. We'll talk to you soon.
It was great to join. Looking forward to seeing you in Houston.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I can't wait to see so many of you in Houston. Now, if you're like me and you have software interests outside of just this particular topic of this individual episode, just know that we're doing 3 of these sneak peek episodes. 1 for design, 1 for simulation, and as you can see here, 1 for manufacturing. So check out the SolidWorks YouTube today for each of these episodes. Now, in closing, I just want to say, if it's the last time we see each other here in 2024, happy holidays to everyone. Stay safe. Please take care of each other, and I hope to see you soon.